Welcome to Mystery Monday number 8, where we work on making inferences based on what we read in the story and being able to kind of solve the mystery that is put forth in front of us. Today's story is titled The Last Will and Testament of Norval Dobbs, Orthographer. What's an orthographer, you ask? Well, an orthographer is a person who studies and writes about spelling and how letters combine to represent sounds and form words. A secondary definition here is a skilled speller. Orthographers and I would be good friends. So the story happens this way. Have you got lots of tissues too? Amy Clumpus called to her receptionist. This bunch will fake tears like nothing you have ever seen. Every one of them. The receptionist had just rolled in the silver coffee service as Amy was arranging 7 chairs at precisely equal distances from one big oak desk. Come to think of it, bandages wouldn't be a bad idea either, Amy said to herself. When this will gets read, there'll be some wrist slashing for sure. The last will and testament of Norval Dobbs, orthographer, was to be read that morning in the office of the senior partner of Clumpus, Clumpus, and Loretto, and Amy was prepared for battle. She knew the contents of the will would not please very many in the family. In fact, she felt that anything short of complete hysterics this morning might be a treat. The 7 chairs were to be occupied shortly by Dobbs's 2 sisters, Adelaide and Adeline, and his 3 sons, Lamont, Telford, and Bernard, as well as Grace the cook and Grace the housekeeper and cook, and Jurgens the chauffeur, butler, gardener, and jack of all trades. None of these, Amy mused, would be pleasant company even in happy circumstances. The sisters hated their nephews, each other, and life. Of the 3 sons, 2 were complete dissolutes, and the third was a greedy and lazy ne'er-do-well. Grace was widely suspected of bringing about the early demise of Norval Dobbs, orthographer, by means of her cooking. Only Jurgens, always dull, seemed harmless. Amy made one last adjustment to the chairs, such a contrast that they were to old Dobbs himself, she thought. I'm going to start that again. Such a contrast they were to old Dobbs himself, she thought. The chairs contrasted the demeanor and style of Dobbs. Gentle and unselfish. Dobbs had been born with only 2 passions. One was studiously ignoring the tons of money that his father had left him. The other was correct spelling. To the latter, except for a brief pause to marry the father of 3 sons, he had devoted not only his entire life, but also and here was the crunch, Amy knew, the bulk of his estate. They're here, the receptionist's voice on the speaker made Amy jump, but she recovered herself in time to nod graciously at the 7 as they filed into the carefully positioned chairs. Amy wanted to get this over with. Normal procedure, she said, is for me to read the entire will. If you have any questions, you can ask them when I have read the whole thing, okay? Well, not quite. It was the sharp-eyed Bernard who held an envelope in his hand. You don't have the will. We do. Amy's eyes narrowed. Yes, Bernard continued. We know you have a will there on your desk, but this is a newer one. Father made it out the day before he died. It's witnessed by all of us, even Jurgens. See? And see the date? Amy took it from him, I'm going to start that again. Amy took it from him, but struggled to keep his hands from shaking. It was a newer will, all right, Bernard went on. You recognize that stupid old Underwood of Father's, don't you? Amy acknowledged that the typing had certainly been done on Norval's creaky old machine, and the raised E and the missing crossbar on the T. And that's his signature. You've seen it often enough. There was no question that the signature was either Norval Dobbs or it was the best forgery Amy had seen in her years as a lawyer. Somehow, she felt it wasn't. So, Bernard said smugly, read. We know what's in it. He told us. But you read it. We want to be legal, you know. Amy began to read out loud slowly. I, Norval Dobbs, orthographer, being of sound mind, do hereby declare the contents of this will shall supersede all other wills and testaments designed by me, or signed by me, before this date, and further declared that the contents of this will shall be read upon my death, and that the contents of my estate be distributed as follows. Amy paused and looked at Bernard, then at the others. You've all signed this willingly? Each of them nodded. And you realize that by signing it, you declare that you saw Norval himself sign it. Again, nods. Well, I'm not going to let you get away with it. What did Amy find to make her suspect fraud?